The most overrated and underrated free agents going into this offseason's free agency class. This comes from ESPN. I found it kind of interesting because there are some names on here that you look at and you say, huh? As overrated, underrated free agents. They have them
for like each team?
For each position group.
Okay.
So we'll start with the quarterbacks here. Who do you believe is the most overrated free agency quarterback that ESPN has?
Let me look here. Hold on. I'm not going to look at the list. I just need to get the list of free agents in front of me. One moment. Mm-hmm. One moment as I get this up. That's what she said. By
the way, Charles Robinson has a very interesting thread on this particular quarterback as well.
We should. Charles had some good stuff about Amari.
He did.
Coming out of the combine. Charles is a buddy. We should have him on tomorrow night.
Let's do it.
I'll call him. This is taking forever. The internet is not working. So I'm just going to throw out I don't have any idea who the free agent quarterbacks are. So you're just going to have to give me it until I can get this list in front of me.
How about Mitchell Trubisky?
Is overrated?
Is overrated.
Probably. Like just, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like I know there's some, but see, I don't know. I thought Trubisky got way too much hate. I think Trubisky's a guy who could be a passable starter in the NFL.
So here's the thread from Charles Robinson on Mitchell Trubisky. Quick note on a QB not named Wilson or Rodgers, and this will love and excite Cowboys fans. Spoke to a team in the thick of it for a competitive backup quarterback in free agency, and they have a strong belief that Mitchell Trubisky is going to end up with the New York Giants and compete with Daniel Jones for the starting job.
Who would terrify you more? I mean, obviously wouldn't be terrified of either. Who would you rather quarterback the Giants as a Cowboys fan?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So Trubisky's not overrated then. If we're talking about him coming in.
And I'd say that tongue-in-cheek because of what, Trubisky did to us, a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Remember the infamous Jalen Smith game where he's, waving off the camera? Yeah, that was the Mitchell Trubisky game. Wasn't that the game that was kind of like the last straw for Jason Garrett? Was that the game? I know the Patriots game was one of them, but then I think the Chicago game was like, all right, that's it. Like now we're
that
officially
was pretty bad. I mean, honestly, probably the Philly game. The Philly game was when they couldn't go up there and clinch the division going to Philly. That was pretty bad.
So Mitchell Trubisky overrated, underrated, and this
I got the list in front of me. Finally. I got the list of quarterbacks.
Okay,
so underrated. I'm going to throw out my guess that they're going to say it's Teddy Bridgewater.
No.
Oh, rats.
Marcus Mariota. Now he's going into his age 28 season.
That dude seems like he should be 35 years old at this point.
Does. It feels like he's been in the league for forever now. But of course was in the same draft class as Jameis Winston. Now he filled in fairly nicely for Derek Carr when Derek Carr was dealing with a little bit of an injury. That game against the Chargers that he had was pretty good. So Mariota could be an underrated quarterback going into this free agency class. We'll skip the running backs because who gives a damn.
What's the next position then?
Running backs.
So I can jump to it.
Wide receiver.
Okay, wide receiver. All right, we're going to go most overrated wide receiver. I am going to say that they will say it is Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's a good guess, but no.
Rats.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
I mean, is he rated? Like I didn't know anybody was talking about him like that. But okay.
Generated 1.41 yards per route run in his 4 years with the Green Bay Packers, despite having Aaron Rodgers throw him the football. So there's that. Not great. Russell Gage, though, is an underrated wide receiver. I like Russell Gage as a player.
Oh, you threw out you didn't even let me guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to guess Zay Jones anyway. I wouldn't have been right.
He's a good player, too. I like Zay Jones. Good player. But Russell Gage, of course, with the Atlanta Falcons, I thought is going to find himself potentially getting some good money on the free agency market. Now, we're going to skip the tight ends because the overrated tight end. Let's see if you can get the overrated tight end, actually.
Okay, let's pull up the tight end list. Sorry, I'm texting people. There's things moving.
Okay.
Okay. Gosh, the internet is broken here. I'm sitting here, it's just spinning. Okay, here we go. Tight end. Overrated tight end. We are going to say, given the list so far, are we going to say CJ Uzomah?
Nope.
OJ Howard.
Mm-mm.
Don't know then.
He's a tight end within our division.
Oh, then Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram they have as the most overrated tight end, which is kind of disrespectful because I've never felt like Evan Ingram has really gotten a true, good shake in New York, with the quarterback play that they've had there. Like, I feel like he's a much better player than what his numbers have indicated and what he's been able to give him a chance to show as a player.
Underrated. Can I guess the underrated?
Yes.
Mo Alley Cox.
Nope.
Rats. Well, I just wanted to say the name anyway.
He's a man that elicited the reaction today from RJ Choppy.
That's the underrated?
The underrated.
Wow.
Yes,
That surprises me. I'm surprised ESPN would. I mean, honestly, at this point, I agree. Because, like, people have just been trying to dump on his name now for 3 weeks. And he's a good player.
He's not a bad player.
He is one of the better tight ends in the NFL.
Like, I think what we do with tight ends is we do this. If he's not Travis Kelce, if he's not George Kittle, if he's not Mark Andrews, then they're bums. Like, I feel like that's where we are with the tight end class and how we feel about if they're not, a certain tier, we just don't think that they're all that great.
Yep.
Before we get to if Randy Gregory is the most overrated Cowboys free agent available.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I know I'll get you charged up.
We're skipping the offensive line. We're going to edge.
No. We're going to stick with the offensive line. We're going to go to guard because I think you'll find this very interesting.
Guard. Okay. Most overrated guard.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. I'm going to just. Okay, here we go. Most overrated guard. I'm going to say that they will say it is Brandon Sheriff.
No.
Okay. I thought they were just going to be hot take people.
Bradley Bozeman from the Baltimore Ravens.
Who?
Now, he's a guard.
Who?
Bradley Bozeman.
Yeah, no, but I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, no idea who that is.
Not off the top of my head.
But guess who they have as the most underrated guard in this year's free agency class?
Connor Miguel Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his middle name. Probably not. But
What?
if it's Michael, that'd be funny.
That would be. What do you think the market is for him in this year's free agency class?
I bet he nets $10 million.
Because I feel like we're not talking about Connor Williams in that way that, because obviously there really hasn't been any conversation about him coming back to the Cowboys, but you think he gets $10 million on the open market?
I think, yes. Like we said last night, Rosenhaus is his agent. He's a guy who, a lot of these people love throwing around PFF grades. Like, he was a starter here in Dallas.
I hate the fact that they're actually using those now.
I think people thought the tape was good. It was just the penalties. So a lot of people, I think, would say the tape is good. So I think there'll be teams that'll be interested to have him.
So, of course, he had a NFL leading 17 penalties in 2021, did Connor Williams. But his PFF grade last year finished as a top 10 graded guard at 75.2 to your PFF numbers there.
And they know everything.
They do, of course.
They're so smart. Are we going to tackle now? Or are we going to...
We're going to go to the edge rusher because this is where we get to the conversation with...
Well, let me guess the underrated first, since I know you're going to say it's Randy is the overrated. So we're going to say the underrated is, as I sit here and scan the list, Solomon Thomas.
No.
Don't know then.
The underrated... edge rusher is Randy Gregory.
Oh, I thought you said he was overrated.
I'm asking the question, is he the most overrated?
Oh, well then who's the overrated? Is the overrated
well, now
Jason Pierre-Paul?
Well, no, he's off the market now. He just signed his big money deal with Tennessee.
Oh, well that says everything right there.
Harold Landry.
I mean, honestly, like, okay, underrated is a possibility because when I've been thinking about Randy's value, I think we talked about this last night. I was thinking around the $12 million annually range. Broadus had said he talked to his gang of 7 and they were hearing, they were, I don't know if they were hearing or they were just their sense of it where they think he should fall, that the talk was more like 8 to 10 million. So if that's the case, then I do think he's underrated because I think he's more of like a $12 million type of player.
I wonder if we overrate him because we are putting so much stock in the fact that he hasn't played a lot of football over the last 7 years or the last several years that we think going into, his age 29 season where he'll be 30 next year, that there's still that much left in him, which I think to some degree
they think there's tread on the tires, and like I'd mentioned to G-Bag yesterday, they think he is the modern day pass rusher, like that, like he plays a modern style that can still generate sacks when other guys can't, because like with it being such a quick throw league, like he wins being quick off the line of scrimmage, being able to turn the corner, be flexible, and like get to the quarterback in a flash. And so like those are the guys who still are going to get sacks in this league. Like the power players, the push pull guys. It's just because guys are throwing the ball so quickly, it doesn't happen nearly as often. But I think they believe he's built for modern day pass rushing and that he's not your typical worn out 30-year-old.
I just hope that this Cowboys team, and I don't think he will because I think he's shown enough with his availability now on the field when he's been able to be healthy, that he's going to be a productive player. I just hope that once he gets his money, we don't get burned by Randy Gregory and the supposed overvaluing of what his production could be now that he has secured, a longer term deal around here.
Sure.
That does concern me a little bit, but he's shown enough that he can be still a productive player. Last year, he was tied for 6th in the NFL in pressure rate at 15.5% and had a pass rush grade.
Before he got hurt, he was a problem. Teams were having trouble.
Monstrous, yeah.
People were having trouble blocking him. He found his spot a little bit later, but I mean, like, he just kind of like Dak. After the calf injury, there were some problems. But I mean, I think he's a double-digit sack guy next year.
One of my favorite plays of the year was the punishing sack that he had on Mac Jones. That was one of my favorite plays of the year.
Baptized that
from the Cowboys. Those are your overrated, underrated free agents going into this upcoming offseason. Coming up next, we're going to go all the way around the rim, get you caught up on what's happening in the association, including the Memphis Grizzlies continuing to put in work in the Western Conference. We'll do that next on 105 through the Fan.
Listen. Stream the Fan 24/7.